The Babe Proclaims God by Ginzberg. Thus Abraham was deserted in the cave, without a nurse, and he began to wail. God sent Gabriel down to give him milk to drink, and the angel made it to flow from the little finger of the baby's right hand, and he sucked at it until he was 10 days old. Then he arose and walked about, and he left the cave, and went along the edge of the valley. 15 When the sun sank and the stars came forth, he said, "These are the gods." But the dawn came, and the stars could be seen no longer, and then he said, "I will not pay worship to these, for they are no gods." Thereupon the sun came forth, and he spoke, "This is my God, him will I extol." But again the sun set, and he said, "He is no God," and beholding the moon, he called her his God, to whom he would pay divine homage. Then the moon was obscured, and he cried out, "This, too, is no God, there is one who sets them all in motion." He was still communing with himself when the angel Gabriel approached him and met him with the greeting, "Peace be with thee." And Abraham returned, "With thee be peace," and asked, "Who art thou?" And Gabriel answered and said, "I am the angel Gabriel, the messenger of God." And he led Abraham to a spring of water nearby, and Abraham washed his face and his hands and feet, and he prayed to God, bowing down and prostrating himself. Meantime, the mother of Abraham thought of him in sorrow and tears, and she went forth from the city to seek him in the cave in which she had abandoned him. Not finding her son, she wept bitterly and said, "Woe unto me that I bore thee but to become a prey of wild beasts, the bears and the lions and the wolves." She went to the edge of the valley, and there she found her son. But she did not recognize him, for he had grown very large. She addressed the lad, "Peace be with thee," and he returned, "With thee be peace." And he continued, "Unto what purpose didst thou come to the desert?" She replied, "I went forth from the city to seek my son." Abraham questioned further, "Who brought thy son hither?" And the mother replied thereto, "I had become pregnant from my husband Terah, and when the days of my delivery were fulfilled, I was in anxiety about my son in my womb, lest our king come, the son of Canaan, and slay him as he had slain the 70,000 other men children. Scarcely had I reached the cave in this valley when the throes of travailing seized me, and I bore a son, whom I left behind in the cave, and I went home again. Now am I come to seek him, but I find him not." Abraham then spoke, "As to this child thou tellest of, how old was it?" The mother, "It was about 20 days old." Abraham, "Is there a woman in the world who would forsake her newborn son in the desert, and come to seek him after 20 days? The mother, "Peradventure God will show himself a merciful God." Abraham, "I am the son whom thou hast come to seek in this valley." The mother, "My son, how thou art grown, but 20 days old, and thou canst already walk and talk with thy mouth." 17. Abraham, "So it is, and thus, O my mother, it is made known unto thee that there is in the world a great, terrible, living, and ever-existing God, who doth see, but who cannot be seen. He is in the heavens above, and the whole earth is full of his glory." The mother, "My son, is there a God beside Nimrod?" Abraham, "Yes, mother, the God of the heavens and the God of the earth. He is also the God of Nimrod son of Canaan. Go, therefore, and carry this message unto Nimrod." The mother of Abraham returned to the city and told her husband Terah how she had found their son. Terah, who was a prince and a magnate in the house of the king, betook himself to the royal palace and cast himself down before the king upon his face. It was the rule that one who prostrated himself before the king was not permitted to lift up his head until the king bade him lift it up. Nimrod gave permission to Terah to rise and state his request. Thereupon Terah related all that had happened with his wife and his son. When Nimrod heard his tale, abject fear seized upon him, and he asked his counselors and princes what to do with the lad. They answered and said, "Our king and our God. Wherefore art thou in fear by reason of a little child? There are myriads upon myriads of princes in thy realm, 18 rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens, and overseers without number. Let the pettiest of the princes go and fetch the boy, and put him in prison." But the king interposed, "Have ye ever seen a baby of 20 days walking with his feet, speaking with his mouth, and proclaiming with his tongue that there is a God in heaven, who is one, and none beside him, who sees and is not seen?" All the assembled princes were horror-struck at these words. 19. At this time Satan in human form appeared, clad in black silk garb, and he cast himself down before the king. Nimrod said, "Raise thy head and state thy request." Satan asked the king, "Why art thou terrified, and why are ye all in fear on account of a little lad? I will counsel thee what thou shalt do. Open thy arsenal and give weapons unto all the princes, chiefs, and governors, and unto all the warriors, and send them to fetch him unto thy service, and to be under thy dominion." This advice given by Satan the king accepted and followed. He sent a great armed host to bring Abraham to him. When the boy saw the army approach him, He was sore afraid, and amid tears he implored God for help. In answer to his prayer, God sent the angel Gabriel to him, and he said, "Be not afraid and disquieted, for God is with thee. He will rescue thee out of the hands of all thine adversaries." God commanded Gabriel to put thick, dark clouds between Abraham and his assailants. Dismayed by the heavy clouds, they fled, returning to Nimrod, their king, and they said to him, "Let us depart and leave this realm." And the king gave money unto all his princes and his servants, and together with the king they departed and journeyed to Babylon 20.